And today we're going to talk about weddings. It's Wedding Wednesday. So,
Okay, hey, I'm Charlena, Any Event Linen and Chair Rental, and we're a boutique wedding rental company based out of Lakeland, Florida. We focus on weddings that are 150 guests or less. Our services are for couples who are in need of chair rentals, linen rental, charger plates, the core items that you'll need to execute your wedding. I'm very proud to say that, we are a small business, but we did over 100 weddings last year. And with the COVID-19, it actually threw a wrench in the year, but it doesn't have to stay that way. So I'm so glad that we're able to be here so I can share with you tips and tricks as you plan your immediate ideas. So being that we are in unknown times when we do not know when everything is going to go back to the old normal, I think it's very important that we start exploring alternatives just in case this new normal, just in case it lasts a little longer than expected. And as you may know, the wedding industry has been hit hard with this because a lot of people, they have larger weddings. No one's really planning like the 10, 15 and under guests. We're talking about 100, 150, 120 guests. So now it's time for us to look at plan B and how do you continue to get married without all of the close contact with each other. It's like the hottest ways to get married. So micro weddings are when you have guests, 15 guests or less, and you all show up. You do the same spiel like you always do. You'll still get the cake, you still get the DJ, you still get your place cards, menu, the same thing. But the whole concept is keeping the guest count 15 and under. So this allows for so much more of an intimate wedding. If there are any former brides here, you know how hard the night is when you're like, thank you, thank you, thank you. You keep talking and walking around before you know you haven't had your water. You haven't used the bathroom. And the only person you can find is your spouse, your new partner, because they're right there holding on while you go table to table. So with the micro weddings, they really allow you to be more hands-on. They allow you to save more money because instead of paying for the 200 place cards that you needed, now you only need 15. Instead of getting everyone $23 plates of chicken or beef, now maybe you could spend $100 a plate because you only have 12 guests. So it definitely allows more flexibility in your budget. It keeps the costs down, and it allows the couple to actually really come together and interact with the guests because, it is a big day for you and you're so happy to be marrying your lifelong friend. However, you want to show how much you appreciate everyone being there. So I'm all for micro weddings.
we got a comment. Edward said it sounds like more fun. It does.
Yes, definitely. It is more fun, right? Because now you can dance with your best friend, with your partner, and no one's missing. I think one thing at weddings, like, you're like, where's the bride? Oh, she's somewhere far away. Where's the groom? Somewhere else. But when you're in smaller and more intimate settings, it allows for everyone to engage.
Yeah.
And I think, too, that's what weddings are. It's a fun party celebration where people come together to just celebrate this new couple and their love. So I'm all down for micro weddings. Like, I couldn't imagine. Think about how much money you would save.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or if you, with having the micro wedding, you can really have the wedding that you want to have.
Yes.
If you say like, oh, I want like a really extravagant wedding, you don't have to necessarily break the bank.
Right.
If I only have 10 guests, I can, like you said, I can spend $100 a plate.
Get us
lobsters and filet
mignon,
six men, and all those those
yes.
fixings that once you start inviting all these people, especially if you have large families. That was my thing. Like, my family is so big on both sides, and it's like you don't want to put it down to like money to where it's like oh, well, I can't afford to invite them,
right?
And you kind of get in that weird space of like, do I even want to have this wedding? Because you don't want to make anybody off. You don't want to make anybody upset, and it just gets so touchy with with having weddings, and I wanted a destination wedding, like something smaller. So definitely exploring those options I didn't even really think about that aspect of it too, and just the intimacy of it is really that intimate moment, and it's not with like a whole bunch of people who aren't going to care a year from now. You're not going to hear from them months, sometimes weeks from when the wedding is over. You just kind of lose touch. So yeah, it definitely makes sense to to have it with those closest to you.
Yes. And I think sometimes, and I was guilty, as soon as you get engaged, oh, I'm inviting 200 people. And then when you go to, rent your chairs or rent your tablecloth, and you're like, why are they charging me $1,200 for my 150 guests? And it's like, you have a long guest list. And it's like, when you're looking at your budget, when you're wedding planning, it's so important to look at your guest list first, because that's where you're spending up most of your budget is on these guests. And if you can condense that number to 15, like you said, now you can have the wedding of your dreams.
Right.
So let's just say COVID-19 continues. We hope not, because we're ready to go back to work. There is an option known as the virtual wedding. Now, it's exactly what it sounds like. There's really no games. It's exactly what it is. So in this case, you and your partner, you all can come together in your front yard, backyard, wherever, your makeshift ceremony space. And depending on your officiant, they may be there. If not, they can Zoom in also. So imagine you and your partner, you guys are here, and I am the virtual officiant.
It's like an iPad.
Yeah. Right now, people are definitely practicing social distancing. So if you and your partner, if y'all want to get married today and you have Sandy on the line who's ready to marry you, you can do that. Right. And then with that, you think about that shaves off all of the costs that we discussed in the micro wedding. Mm-hmm. Because it's allowing your family to join this moment virtually. So you're not feeding them, you're not doing all of the things, buying flowers and bouquets for your bridal party. Those things are cut out. But in turn, you can still always ask for wedding gifts. So I just want everybody to know that just because you are considering micro weddings or virtual weddings, it doesn't mean that you cannot take part in all of the things like having a wedding registry. You can still do those things with virtual weddings and micro weddings. So I think if you're ready to get married, there are so many ways to do so. And if you want to get married now, have a reception, a big blowout in the fall, you can do that too. But you have to look at it in pretense of how much money am I saving on the front end of having a virtual wedding or having a micro wedding. Okay, now I can take all that money that I thought I was going to spend and really blow it out in the fall. It's definitely cost effective, and it's something that you can do literally right now.
Like, just being thankful that we still have the technology to stay connected.
Right.
That we still have options. Just because you can't go anywhere doesn't mean that you can't go anywhere. You may not be able to physically go anywhere, but we all know that we possess the technology to be able to connect with people globally.
Right.
So in this time, I believe it's calling for us to be creative in, how we interact with others.
It seems like so much time has dropped in our lap. One thing we have to know, you have to keep going. And that includes wedding planning. Just because COVID-19 is right now, like we said, everything could be back next month, the following month. Right. So like you said, are you still planning? Are you still reaching out to vendors? Are you still looking at inventory? I think it's so important that we keep doing what we're doing. And if that's wedding planning, you keep doing it.
Thank you, Charlena.
Thank you for having me.
Stepping out of your comfort zone, for chatting with us today about what it is that you do in the wedding industry. Thank you for your time and your expertise. Yes, thank y'all for coming.
All right.
See y'all later.
Bye.